it is only through this exercise that life can be easy for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Mr. Isi, back to the issue of licensing. You admitted a while ago that you will wish you had more staff, more resources.
No, let me clarify. Let me clarify.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Okay.
It is rude to interrupt you.
No problem. No,
I'm saying that
it's a house of records. So
I'm saying that we have recruited enough people. So for now, what we have is fine. We can do the work with it. That's what I said.
So even though you are still putting up offices, you've told us about the new offices you are building, about 10 of them coming up, some to be open next year. Why are you putting up new offices? Why are you spending taxpayer resources expanding if you are okay?
Chair, we are expanding for several reasons. So, for instance, you remember I said in my introductory remarks that there's only one lab for the Minerals Commission in Ghana, Takrady, which dealt with mining operations in 5 regions. Now you are talking about mining, if you like, exploration and mining in all the 16 regions in Ghana. Because there's mining in Greater Accra, Quarry, the Shahis area there. So we will become inefficient. The very reason why you have brought me here, to make sure that I become efficient and accountable, will become inefficient if the likes of Cardinal, Azuma have to come to Takrady for testing. In fact, the lab is even planned for Tamale, so that Cardinal, those new mines that are coming up in Zebila, Sapeliga, and Azuma will come to Tamale. Because for now, Obuasi people, Ahafo North, Ahafo South, Asanko and go to Takrady for rope tests, those underground. But once we complete the lab this year, they will handle that. We are also putting up. So for the labs like this, we are expanding.
So you clearly have constraints, don't you? You clearly have constraints.
Well, when you say constraint, I'm just giving one example like lab. That's a typical example. We are expanding. But if it is men, it's a matter of salary.
Respectfully, do I get the impression that you don't want to admit to your constraints, to your staffing and resource challenges, because that would then clearly show that you are responsible for where we are, or that is a major contributing factor to the crisis that we face. And so that's why you are, with all due respect, cleverly trying to, but you forget that November is fast approaching. You will appear before this house and you may be asking for approvals for some of these projects. And this record may hamper your progress in terms of expansion.
Chair,
and additional staffing. So let's be clear, because you appear to be contradicting yourself.
Chair, I'll be honest.
You say you are okay, and yet, in another breath, you are speaking to challenges. You say that you even be asking for 750 from the 640 that we approved for you, and all of that. So it's not very clear to us for our records.
Chair, I'll be honest with you. If I'm going to ask for more money, it's to do other things. I wanted to separate staffing from other things.
So you are saying that as it is now, you don't have any challenges with staffing, with logistics, with office accommodation?
Chair, let me explain.
Is that what you are telling us for clarity?
Yes, Chair. Whilst I'm even leaving, when I was leaving the office to come to this place, I even asked my HR people to give me the full details. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to see the number of inspectors we have hired to put them on the ground. It's not about the number of inspectors, because my minister has been on my neck to hire more people, which we have done. It's not about inspectors. going into the water body has
So,
nothing to do with
Mr. Isi,
so staffing step we are fine, because you see, I even read something on X.
okay, you let me put my question
Yes.
this way. Maybe that will help all of us. Do you take responsibility for the state of our country? And when I say the state of our country, it includes the state of our river bodies, the state of our forests, the destruction caused by Galamsey, the impact on public health, the impact on our water production, the babies being born with deformities, and all of those concomitant effects. Do you take responsibility?
No. I'm prepared to take responsibility for where we have gone wrong as far as our mandate is concerned.
You are the chief regulator.
Yes.
So if you will not take responsibility, who should we place responsibility on?
Honorable Okujeto, and Chair, respectfully, I'll keep repeating myself with some of the examples. And I want you to understand it clearly with me. For example, where my officer has a mandate to go around and monitor, like Honorable Nelson, the firm has been saying, to make sure that people do it properly, and also his second point, which he asked me to explain, stop it. And I gave 2 scenarios in which you can stop it. Those who are doing it, we can help them do it properly. And those who are doing it, if for whatever reason, where we saw them doing it, there's nothing we can do than to make sure they are cleared. And we take the necessary appropriate steps per our mandate, and they are not cleared, I will struggle to take responsibility. The best example, the Konongo roadside thing. We did everything under the sun to make sure that we stop it, like Honorable Dafemopo is saying. We took the steps, we brought it to do the appropriate authority who must go and make sure that it is stopped. It didn't happen, and we saw that shameful thing that embarrassed all of us, to the extent that the Kumasi Road, perhaps the business in Ghana, could have been wiped into 2. How else will I take responsibility? But then if it turns out that when the thing was going on, the officer even didn't pick it or didn't even do that, then he has failed the second test you put strongly before me. So I want us to put the responsibility.
CEO, let me put this in perspective, because Honorable Susu wants to come in quickly, then he'll leave. If you read section 1310 of Act 703 as amended by 995, it has this to say, Chairman, if with your leave,
Sure.
It says the holder of a mineral right shall not remove or destroy a mineral obtained by the holder in the course of a mineral operations without the permission in writing of the head of the inspectorate division of the commission. Now, senior, you are senior to me in the law by far, so you know what this means. It means, arguably, your inspectorate division should be your bulwark against the issues that are germane to today's hearing. So, again, I will urge you that maybe after today's hearing, take a second look at your structure and see where you can strengthen in terms of manpower and to make you a bit more effective, like we expect from you. Because the law mandates you to do exactly that. Then again, if you look at our standing orders, the hearing that we conduct, we are supposed to go back to plenary with a report. Yeah. We are not doing this in vacuum. We are supposed to go back with recommendations. And listening to you, we should be able to go back and recommend to plenary that, no, given what's happening, you need A, B, C, D enhancement in terms of the performance of your functions under the law. We should be able to do that for you. But you must come across as willing to assume those new responsibilities if we make the recommendation. So asking for additional budget is okay, but we should be able to also tell us as a nation that given the scenario, you want to do more to be able to deal with the issues.
For example, I would like you to carry along that geological investigation is key. And that's why I'm asking more money for ourselves.
So, Chairman, with your leave, clerk, Clerk, if you can take note of this,
just to help you the process. Our geological investigation goes to the DNA of resolving the issue. So, Minkom, we need more money, and you need to pump more into geological survey. That's one thing I want you to take away from this. Number two, I also want you to take away from the fact that in looking at the issue, we should also be clear that if you want to empower more Minkom, maybe we should push thoroughly through this river gas thing or mine wardens. Let's call them that way. Because sometimes when you mention gas, it evokes security issues. Then now even the military will come, oh, are they supposed to carry gun? Then they also will come with their own issue and say, maybe we are opposed. No, that kind of thing. So, for example, these two strong things, I want you to carry it along. River wardens, that will police after the soups have been done, so that the soldiers don't keep going back and we waste money. And also, for me, what is the everything, this geological investigation where we need to resource Minkom and geological survey to do. For the hiring and bringing more men, you keep increasing the budget for us, and we've hired a lot of people.
Earlier you said 4, but we only have 3. That's the geological investigations, licensing. You've just talked about the river wardens. Are you abandoning the 4th? Because earlier you said you were going to give us 4 recommendations. But so far we have 3.
Yes, the new, I think some of them are already in the domain, which made rounds recently. The geological investigation, the pilot, we started. It's the same thing. This issue of not taking them to this main court. You saw the history behind the fast track thing. Just to speed up cases, they were sitting every day.
So specialized courts.
Yeah, specialized court, which already, without waiting for the conclusion of the fine detail, because you have to go to a certain process, you saw already the statement issued by the Attorney General when he opened a some conference recently that, look, I've directed the Chief Justice to do XYZ. Whilst we wait to go through what it takes to have specialized courts in the mining areas. That is also strongly something I also want to talk about. And then one other thing is that we will need to step up.
Well, before you get there, I'm sure it was probably a slip. The Attorney General cannot direct the Chief Justice.
Yes, that's the way the journalists carry the story.
But we don't have to fall in that trap.
Yes.
You know, as one of the 3 arms of government, we are careful about protecting our independence.
Okay, that's fine. Just like some people will say that ban galamsey, something that is also banned. And then I've listed one point here: lack of commitment on the part of some, not all, MMDCs, assembly members, chiefs in the fight against galamsey. Chair, just 2 seconds. I see 2 categories of chiefs, and I'm being real from the situation on the ground. Chiefs who will do anything, and you dare not. There's an old soldier who is a chief in some part of Western region. You dare not. You dare not. Then there are DCs who do everything to stop galamsey. For example, I know there are Chimansa DC, Paul. Is my darling, and a host of others. You understand that? But some of the chiefs have been involved in galamsey, and it's not just one-off incident. Several. I mean, the distillment by the Asantini, the overlord of Ashanti Kingdom, is just the one that are being reported. There are a lot of chiefs. In fact, what my district officers tell me that when the galamsey people come like that, they will tell them, they will slaughter cow. I'm sure you have heard. Perform some ritual and say, Muni Nyamenko. So that is also a factor. And one other thing we have to look at is that I think Cocoa Board is beginning to look at the issue. This cocoa illegal mining thing is something we will need to change the narrative and do the education very well. They've cataloged a lot of reasons. If you listen to the Kotlo Bosio, I was on Ekusi with him some time ago. He mentioned climate change, solar shoots, and a whole sort of things. And also mentioned Galamsey. But I get up and I see a cocoa farmer. I'm not making apologies, but sometimes you need to understand people. Because I heard an Asante chief got up and said, during one of the dialogues, that people are cutting cocoa and doing seasonal crops. And the people got up, they were clapping for him. I want to believe that his point is that perhaps cocoa, they need to do more in terms of paying them. Then I also hear somebody saying that, oh, I've been a cocoa farmer all my life, and I've never even seen 10,000 before. It is not an excuse for Galamsey. Because sometimes when you know the real situation on the ground, you know how to rearrange your tactics. And I thought you saw all that video, that old man who was saying that the cocoa is mine, me who 10,000, that whatever me good with 10,000, I'll give it out to him and all those things. So it means that there must be some kind of education to reorient people's mentality and ideas and all those things. So it is not, so once we are working on geological investigation and all those things, in the short to medium term too, a lot of public education is also required in some of these cocoa growing areas. Or else these things will keep happening. So by far, these are some of the 4 issues that I've been talking about. To repeat, geological investigation, we need to revisit this river wardens in no guards, and then also the other 2 that I mentioned. With this, I think we can go far. But as I said, I'll put premium on geological investigation. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you very much. Very quickly, you mentioned MMDCs. Yeah, not all, certainly. But in the work we are doing, we have observed, quite startling, that some of these MCs and DCs are incorporating companies, coming to you for license, and you are granting them the license with alacrity, and they themselves are busy mining. Of course, they will argue that they are engaged in legal mining. From where you sit, do you think that it is right for heads of dissects who must work with you, collaborate with you? You have been talking about the lack of support from some of the security agencies. Do you think that this is a healthy development where MMDCs are themselves obtaining licenses and mining in the very jurisdictions that they preside over?
You raised this on Metro Thursday. I think I listened to you. I want to speak to facts and also speak my mind. What you can do for me is that if I can get those information, I'm promising you, I'll go and look at it and give you a written, proper response. I don't want to say anything that will commit myself.
Okay, that is fair. That is fair.
Some of the things, the only thing we can do is to tell you that we'll go back, prepare, and then get you more information. Like the ratification Honorable Suhuyini asked. Some of them I can also tell you what I think, and also tell you government policy. And sometimes I even make my own views, which is different from government. Yes. So this one like this, if you respectfully give me the data.
I'll submit the incorporation documents to you. The companies are JK Sam Mining, the DC for Mpoho, Honorable Ignatius Asa Mensah is the sole proprietor for this one. Then we have the Covreza Construction and Engineering Limited, the MCE for Menfi East, the Honorable Frederick Crunchy. He is the director for this company. So we'll give them to you. We'll make these documents available to you. But do you care to share your general principle? Do you think that this is a healthy situation? Does it help in addressing the menace, where you have MMDCs obtaining licenses. Those who are supposed to maintain security are themselves, engage in active mining. Will you recommend that as a house we probably consider legislation to directly outlaw this? Because it raises potential conflict of interest, scenarios here.
Sure, why not? If in the light of what we are going through, why not? For example, it's the same light in which people are saying that, oh, looking at what is happening, why don't you stop licensing altogether? Why don't you even stop lawful small scale? So in the light of that, why not? Why not? Because it is issues that bring, things to the fore, and then we take appropriate steps. Why not?
Okay, Honorable Sosu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I want to find out from the CEO whether, in all honesty, he considers the current situation that we are faced with as a crisis. Do you consider what is happening now as a crisis?
Chair, why not? Because look at our water bodies. I can see several bottles line up before you. It's not something we should tolerate, and we have to deal with it.
And Honorable Chair, if you consider this as a crisis, it is said that extraordinary times require extraordinary actions. People watching us now all believe that ban galamsey now. In other words, ban small-scale mining now. It doesn't matter what all these beautiful proposals may mean today, because people want to see action. Would you consider recommending to your sector minister that as a matter of urgency, we must stop issuing small-scale mining licenses, at least for now, until the situation comes under control?
Chair, again, in the course of his questioning, you heard him say, ban galamsey now. See, that's where the problem comes from. But I understand his question.
Very well. So, within that context, small-scale mining now, yes.
Additionally, he said whether we should ban small-scale. In other words, we should not allow anybody to even do it lawfully. Chair, if you ask me, I will say no. Because that will not solve the problem.
So
it will make it worse.
No, so if that will not solve the problem, particularly in the middle of crisis, there are action points when crisis erupts. We have a situation where our compatriots, today I'm just from court, people are being held in court because they are out there saying that illegal mining is destroying our water bodies, even some legal minings. And so the whole issue is that in the middle of crisis, you need to take one step back in order to reconsider the situation so you can move forward. So if you say it won't solve the problem now, what will solve the problem now? Because we need the immediate action before we have the medium-term solutions, then we can have the long-term solutions. Because I see a lot of these geological survey issues and all that as both medium to long-term solutions. But as we speak today, what Ghanaians are looking out for. On Friday, the Catholic Bishops' Conference are going on demonstration. Why? Because of issues like this. People are still on remand. Why? Because of issues like this. So every sector that deals with mining would have to be seen taking some drastic step. So what would you consider to be your first drastic step to stopping this issue?
As I said, going to the water body is just a criminal activity. It's not allowed. Just go and just take them out. And then those 4 things are cataloged. And then Honorable Sosu, remember you said crisis situation require emergency situation. But I'm also mindful of even the Supreme Court decision in Apiaje Etua. Even in the current state of emergencies, it doesn't give the state a carte blanche to just wipe out anything. So how do I come in with this? I'm also saying that, yes, it is a crisis. You need to deal with the situation, but also some people out there, not just one or two people, several thousands, if not millions, are also saying is that we are also not connected to this. So why don't you leave us out and deal with what is creating the problem?
But
So that is why I personally would not recommend. And in any case, government has come out. That is not to say that perhaps the government may not change in position. The government has made it clear that they are not going to ban lawful small-scale mining. If you ask me, do I support that? I'll say yes, for reasons that I've cataloged severally before this committee, that there are other several thousands who are not involved in the kind of thing that has led to all this. And so we should be also be careful not to, throw the baby with the bathwater. And then we've been here before. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I will not support it, that we should stop small-scale mining lawfully. Lawfully. I will not support it.
Yeah,
That's my personal position.
Honorable Chair, I hear the CEO saying that government position is that it is not ready to ban small-scale mining lawful small-scale mining. Let me put it that way. And yet the nominee says one of the drastic ways. Sorry. Yeah, the CEO. Yeah. Yet the CEO says, let's just get into the water and remove the people as a matter of urgency. Who is responsible for that? It is a government. With this conclusion, don't you see the government be complicit with the fight against this illegal mining? That is the reason why we are having this crisis right now.
Honorable Chair, I don't think so. I cannot sit here and say government is complicit. No.
Who is supposed to remove the people from the water bodies? Who is supposed to remove them from the forest reserves? Who is supposed to monitor those people? It's government and government agencies. So what it means is that in this fight, from the government to its agencies, they've all failed the people of Ghana, and that's why we are where we are.
Honorable Sosu, Chair, like I said, I don't deal with forestry matters. I'm not passing the bucks. Let forestry commissions you come and answer. Is it the case that it's not, because you put me through the test? Martin, is your 400 enough? Why not 600? I've told you my position and some of the things that I want us to do. So respectfully, let you can come and tell the committee, assurance committee, because I know EPA is also coming here. Is it the case that maybe if they have 200 men, they need 600? He need more resources. If I sit here and speak for forestry, that would be wrong. So as he cannot speak for Mincom too. Do you understand that? I cannot speak for so I'm not in a position to speak to things that are outside my remit or domain. That would be wrong. I can't speak for forestry commission.
That is very fair.
I can't speak for forestry commission.